Okay, how to choose the right spinning rod. Now, as you know, spinning rods come in a wide variety of choices. A lot of different options to choose from. So which one do you choose? I mean, it all depends what kind of fishing you do, but here's a basic guide. Okay, first we start with the ultralight. This is a 4-foot 6-inch rod on an ultralight 500 series ultralight spinning reel. Now this baby is just built for panfish, trout, whatever, small fish. And the size is really important because sometimes when you're fishing in streams and lakes with a lot of overhang, you need a short rod in order to get your presentation to where it needs to be. So you need a small rod like this for that. Now, next choice is this is not an ultralight, but it's actually a heavy rod. It's a 4'9" ugly stick GX2, and it's designed for short applications, short fishing like jigging, things like that, and also where size matters. And one thing you want to look for in a spinning rod is small or big eyelets. The first eye needs to be really big in order to match the spool of the spinning reel, because the bigger this is, with the spool you have more line that goes up here and less of a bottleneck, and then goes up through here and you can get longer casts. Now this next rod I want to tell you is, I don't know what it is technically. It's a Sugi Lang. It's called a surf glass rod. Now, a lot of people, when they see surf in the title, they think it's a surf rod, but I don't think it's really that. This is technically a medium thing. But the thing is, you want to look at here is look at the size of that eye. That first eye is really small, especially in comparison to the spool size. This rod isn't designed for whipping out large distance. This is more technically, I guess, a boat rod than anything else, because this eye here is so small. I mean, it's almost like a casting rod considering the size of that eye right there, but it is a spinning rod. So, but like I said, it's in the title says surf glass, so don't get that confused with surf rod. All right, the next choice is a 6'9" light rod. This is a Field and Stream 6' 6" light action. Now this is good for panfish and other small critters, and and the longer the length is really good, because then you can cast it pretty far. So it has a relatively decent sized first eye there, but it's not really made for whipping it out there. Alright, the next choice is a 6-foot ugly stick. Now again, note the first eye size. Needs to be pretty big. Now this is a good general purpose all-around rod. This is a heavy action, so you can really put up to 1.5 ounce weights on it and baits, and you can whip it out there pretty far with this larger eye there. Alright, your next choice to choose is 7-foot medium heavy spinning rod. Now this has a much bigger eye here, and that's really designed for casting long distances. Notice the size of that eye there in relation to the spool here. So it's less friction here as it goes up there, and you can get pretty good distance. Now this here is what's called a boat rod, but it's also a good general purpose rod. This is a Penn Mariner 3. Now this has a large first eye there, so you can cast pretty good distance, but it's only a 6', 6". So it's not really built for surf rods or anything. I mean, although you can use it for that, but you're not going to get as much distance as you would a longer rod. And I'll explain that in a minute. Now, the good thing about this rod here, it's called a boat rod. This has a triangular foregrip here, and that's for grabbing hold of it there. And when you're pulling up the monster fish, you know, you need that extra, you know, that not the round but the triangular design in order to get good comfort. And also has a good long rear grip here and a fantail for boat rod holders. So, but it's also good for, you know, surf fishing, lake fishing, whatever else. All right, the next choice is, this is a 7-foot. Let me double check that. Oop, here we go, getting collapsed wind here. I don't want to have a blooper here already. What the hell's that? Something else. All right, sorry about that. Now this is a 7-foot, yep, 1.5 ounce to 2 ounce lure weighting, and 10 to 25 pound line, medium heavy. Now it's a pretty thick rod. This is a Bass Pro Shops Power Plus trophy class. Now Bass Pro Shops makes fine products. Now notice the big eye here, you know, and it gets a little bit smaller down the line. And now this baby, you know, even at 7 foot, can cast pretty good distance. You know, so it's good grip here, foregrip and lower grip. All right, the next choice is surf rod. Now this baby here, this is the Berkley Big Game Power Series. This is an 8-foot, kind of small for a surf fishing rod. I mean, you want 9, 10, 12 feet for surf rods because you want to be able to fling that bait as far out as you can to you know, get past the breakers. So, you know, it has a good solid first eye there, nice and large, and then smaller, goes down a little bit smaller, and so on. Now again, like I said, this is a 8-footer, so it's a good small surf rod, but yeah, you can still fling it pretty good. Now another thing you want to look at too is whether or not rods are 2-piece or 1-piece. Now I've always believed that rods, you know, should be a single 1-piece for the best strength and sensitivity. But rods nowadays are designed really nice, really good. So you get to keep the strength and sensitivity, but it's compact to where, you know, you can pack it into your vehicle a lot easier. Now this rod here has a good solid rear grip here, foregrip, and you know, you want a big rear grip here for, you know, when you're on the beach. You want something to be able to go into the rod holders, you know, the PVC or other rod holders, you know, for putting, you know, waiting for the fish to bite. So, you know, the bigger the better. Now there's other rods, of course, like I said, they're like not 10 feet, 12 feet, and so on, that have really long rear grips, and that's exactly what it's designed for, is for beach fishing, surf fishing. Now all these rods, you know, can be used interchangeably for one. You don't want to use a small rod like this for fishing for tuna in a boat. I mean, you can, but the bait itself will probably snap the line, so you don't really want to do that. But it'd be a hell of a fight though if you know, you were able to hook onto a monster like that with such a small test line. So that's the basic guide there, you know, what to look for in spinning rods, you know, and hope that helps. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Yeah.